Did you know that one of the first mason jars ever made was in 1858? Such a commonly used item. It's crazy that it was made that long ago. Hello, my name is Braden Richardson, and today I will be talking about mason jars. Or just jars in general, the history of them. And prior to this speech, I asked my grandfather, who worked in the Ball Corporation, which is a major producer of mason jars in the U.S., I asked him about the ins and outs of mason jars, how they're made, all that good stuff. It was a very interesting experience. And so I will be talking about the early life of jars, when they were first made, the birth of the mason jar, and the current happenings of jars nowadays, starting with some good old history. This all started from a man named Nicholas Apert. He discovered the way to preserve food in small containers. One of the earliest ways to seal these small containers was with a wax seal, and a lot of numbers here. This is with a wax seal, and this process, it was complicated. There was a lot of errors with it. It was a problem mostly, and it was became popular in the 1830s or 1840s, not a clear definition there. And it was commonly used to seal fruit jars from the early 1850s until about 1890. The wax sealing process was largely the only option there was for sealing jars until more solutions came afterwards, and they've been widely used to the 1900s to now. Obviously, one of the biggest ones is screw-on, and so that's where it brings us to the new generation of jars, the mason jar, most popular one. Everybody loves them. And this was the first mason jar was made in 1858 by a man named John Landis Mason. He patented it. It became hugely popular. It was great. Everybody loved it. Comes in various shapes and sizes. There's tons of stuff. And different colors as well. Different finishes. Bunch of cool stuff. And after it was discovered that Mason's patent had actually wore off after his initial creation of the mason jar, the screw finish that we have, which I have one right here. I'll show you. There's a little bit of a screw on. Very cool. Many other companies, obviously, they jumped on that and started making their own and started making money off of it. So he didn't really get to keep that for very long. But alas, while still used heavily for decorations and canning things, they've been actually on a decline in North America, which is sad to think about. The decline in mason jar manufacturing in North America is due to multiple reasons. The lack of U.S.-based manufacturers, a sharp decline in popularity, consolidation of the U.S. canning jar industry, and the resulting higher cost of imported European-made jars. The Ball Corporation, as mentioned earlier, which once dominated the market as the largest domestic manufacturer of home canning jars, spun off its home canning business in 1993, so they kind of just stopped doing it, which is sad. Older styles of home canning jars are not recommended by the U.S. Because the wax, and they used to make some that had zinc in them, and I guess the people are allergic to them and it hurts them and stuff, so that's never a good thing. But at least they're still used heavily for decoration. They're valuable antiques, all that good stuff, so they're still kind of popular. I hope that I've done my best of recapping jars, the history of jars, the early life, the birth of the mason jar, and the position mason jars are in during current day. One of the most exciting history ever told, it was a very interesting way to talk about mason jars, or just history of jars. Before I let you go, I want to let you know that the national holiday for mason jars is actually on November 30th. It's very interesting. thank you for your time.